Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 6th of February. So looking at the euro dollar, and well, yesterday we ended up in a sell-off, breaking some quite key levels. It's broken through a trend line that I was looking at now, which coincided with the 4-hourly 50, and it's broken through that properly, ran through that, and it's it is taking a bounce at the moment. We have come down to the weekly S1 and the 200 moving average. It has taken a bit of a bounce there, but looking at the hourlies here, are we finding resistance into this daily pivot, back into 60-21s, or are we going to break through? And that's the question this morning, whether that bounce can see us run through. I am still looking at the monthly pivot there, so still got the potential for that monthly pivot to be chased down. So if we do see a break of these lows today, the trend line that's sitting across the short-term time period, I will be looking potentially at the shorts, looking at some point towards that monthly pivot. Any continuation of this move, well, I still have a bigger picture bullish view on this market. You look at the bigger picture here, your trend lines are going to be underneath this monthly pivot anyway, but it could well pitch up again. There is certainly strength in it. Okay, that's the euro. The pound. The pound seems to be on a bit of a weaker case. It's already broken now through its monthly pivot, so it went through its weekly and monthly yesterday, and looking like maybe a three wave correction here. Maybe have some more to come. We'll watch this morning. It hasn't quite got yet up to its daily pivot, which I'd like it to obviously do from a statistical point of view, but it does seem to be missing out at the moment. So and it does look weak, and again we've got either a horizontal trend line across here, which may be a bit fractionally lower here at 39, 38 sort of area, or there's a slight offset one, which could a break of that could see us coming off towards at least that 60-minute 500, and most likely the S1 or more. So it does look weak at the moment, the pound, and that has started to break down on the bigger time frames. Dollar yen, well, yesterday it was pinched in here, managed to float up. I thought it might come up a bit more towards the 6,500, but that resistance into the monthly pivot on the dailies there, obviously that was as far as it really wanted to go. It did come back and test the daily 21 again, and that was just about it, and it rolled from that. So it's now back into these lows here, and again indecisive sort of price action, not quite diverging or anything. It's possibly worked itself off on this RSI here, but it does look like it's trying to put a reversal candle back in again, so there is some sort of support of some of the prior lows here that it's finding at the moment, but eventually there's a good chance that may even break. But it does seem stronger than the euro and the pound in terms of its moves against the US dollar. Remember, this is yen dollar, so this movement down is the strength of the yen. So it does seem to be kicking stronger at the moment, and it may just be a safety trade really. So looking at the 60-minute time frame here, and well, it's just coming short of kicking into the 21s. Has got daily pivot still above us at 109.45, and it may still push up to the way it's been moving, although the strength seems to be short term at least into the downside. Aussie dollar has continued rolling over here, complete change of direction in that respect. It's broken that very simple trend that it run into for a long time, rolling over. Next sort of targets maybe that daily 50, 200, but it's not looking good on the long side at the moment at all. It did have some divergence, but that's just broken through, and it does look very weak at the moment. It has got the daily pivot above us today, but even yesterday, when it was only a few pips away from it, it didn't have the strength to come back to it unless something changes significantly at the moment. The US dollar strength seems to be pushing through. And finally, the Canadian dollar. So similar basis here in terms of weakness in the Canadian dollar, US dollar here pushing up. Two really solid days there, and it would suggest that the dollar is really getting it in against most of these currencies. The euro's just holding up the best at the moment, but this Canadian dollar pushing up, maybe extreming a bit where it is these highs here. Maybe we'll get a retracement back towards that daily pivot at some point. It's broken a short or intermediate term trend here, and may just roll over a little bit more, but it does look soft against the US dollar, and we could see a continuation to the upside there. So news-wise today, well, we've already seen weak Australian retail sales coming in, which has not helped the situation with the Aussie dollar there, and trade balance is weak as well. We also had the RBA, the Reserve Bank of Australian rate statement coming through, and again that was left unchanged. Aside of that, then today, as we look forward, there's very little information. We've got Canadian trade balance at 130, which is a very little mover, and nothing of any significance until you get to the New Zealand dollar at 9.45 with the employment change. But even that's not a great mover at that time. So there we go. Have a great one. Bye for now.